Finally, we have a little bit of clarity on these rookie running backs. So the question all spring has been, how will these running backs shake out? How are we going to rank these guys once we have these landing spots? So now we know where these guys are at. Let's try to make some sense of this whole thing. So Jonathon Brooks, he goes to Carolina. I put this on A-. I absolutely love it. The fact that he was the first running back off the board, that immediately puts him in the A tier for me. I'm very excited about that because the knee was kind of the question, and them drafting him that early gives you confidence in the knee. It's a bit of a messy landing spot, though, because Chuba Hubbard looked pretty good last year, but also because the offense is kind of a mess right now, right? If they can sort out the offense around him, then you get better opportunities for potential scoring for him as well. Just moving the ball, keeping the offense actually on the field, right? And maybe he doesn't get game scripted out on you. So that's going to be a bit messy for Carolina there first, for sure, for Jonathon Brooks. But I am pretty excited about this player. I have him as the last pick of round 1 in a rookie draft at the 112. I think that he is worth that pick over those wide receivers. He's my top rookie running back. He's the number 1 for me on the board among those guys. The only running back to get round 2 draft capital this year. That surprised me just a hair. I thought Trey Benson would find his way in there as well. And let's move right into Trey Benson. He ends up in Arizona with the Cardinals, and I love that landing spot too for him. I think there's a chance he immediately is just the guy over James Conner, and Conner moves into the 1B or even the 2 role. So Trey Benson, a real breakout candidate potentially there. He may get clogged up with Conner a little bit early on, though. And so because of that, I do kind of prefer the other wide receivers. Also, he's a round 3 pick, so you should fundamentally prefer some of those earlier wide receivers over him. So a guy like a Xavier Legette and a Ricky Pearsall who got round 1 draft capital, even if you don't love the landing spot, they should go before Trey Benson. That's kind of a fundamental thing here with Dynasty is you take the round 1 receiver before you take a round 3 running back. Regardless of need, I don't care. You do that. You trust the NFL scouts a little bit. Same thing goes for Blake Corrum. And I don't totally love that landing spot for Blake Corrum. It's a guy here who I'm not a huge fan of the player. I think he's a little bit Devonta Freeman, which Devonta Freeman had some great years. Devonta Freeman had number 1 overall year as a running back. It's just really hard to project that player to be that, though. Kind of a smaller back that doesn't play like a smaller back. And that's exciting. It's fun to watch. I just have a bit of worry about him holding up and getting that workload. And look, in this offense, he's going to have Kyren Williams to deal with. It makes me put Kyren Williams on my bust list. It makes me put Blake Corrum on my bust list. One of the two is probably going to work out really, really well. I just don't know which one. I don't personally value either one too overly high. I've got him at the 207 in a rookie draft right now. So it'll be round 2, kind of the middle there. I prefer Trey Benson over Blake Corrum for sure. Let's talk Marshawn Lloyd now. One of my favorite running backs in this class. I really like Marshawn Lloyd. I think he's really kind of an Aaron Jones replacement in the best way possible here, going to Green Bay. And he will sit behind Josh Jacobs. And I think he'll be kind of a pass-catching downs helper for Josh Jacobs. The unfortunate thing to me in year 1 is if something were to happen to Josh Jacobs in year 1, I just don't know how much work Marshawn Lloyd then gets. I don't think A.J. Dillon just totally goes away from this offense in that scenario. And so it does limit the upside just a little bit. Compare that to a Blake Corrum, right? Where if Kyren Williams were to just go away, if Kyren Williams got hurt, Blake Corrum to the moon. All skyrocketing emojis just all over the place. He would be an excellent running back in that scenario. I don't see that with Marshawn Lloyd. And a lot of times with these running backs who are maybe more of a round 2 rookie draft type of running back, I really want to have that assurance of they are the handcuff in order for me to spend that pick on them. So I got him at 208. I'm okay if there's a need, though, taking a Malachi Corley or a Michael Penix over him for sure in that scenario. So that's it for the rookie running backs from rounds 2 and 3. For me, I would rank them Jonathon Brooks, Trey Benson, Blake Corrum, and then Marshawn Lloyd, just the exact same way the NFL did. That's kind of how I see these running spots shaking out for him. Jonathon Brooks is going to be really interesting when we get to redraft season and we talk about him because he is coming off that torn ACL. We'll see where the health is at. But for dynasty purposes, you are looking ahead. Even at running back, you're looking ahead a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. And so that's where I think there's the talent of that player and him being the sole second-round running back comes into play a little bit. I don't want to make the same mistake that we made all those years ago with Todd Gurley and discount too much for that knee injury. So those are my ranking, guys. What I want to know in the comments down below is, how do you rank these running backs? Do you go Brooks, Benson, Corrum, Lloyd? Do you go Corrum, Benson, Brooks, Lloyd? Do you have Lloyd first? Let me know in the comments down below how you rank these 4 running backs.